Welcome back to Get Connected. My name is Matt Delmar. Today we're going to reconnect with the top 5 games of the year with a special Christmas episode where we count down the top 5 games of 2018.
Spider-Man released on September 7th, 2018 has been arguably the biggest video game, superhero related, since Batman Arkham Knight released in 2015. The game follows a fully powered Peter Parker as he tries to balance elements of both his social life and his personal life with that of his superhero persona.
The game has many references to Marvel and its characters. There's even a side mission series with its own villain.
So, how would you guys rate the game?
I rate like a 7 out of 10 because it's a decent story, you know what I mean? And it's like it's really similar to Arkham City and just like all Arkham games. Like you're talking about like all the different Batman. Like the combat is very similar, but I do like the variety of customization of skins and like the different outfits and like the different abilities that come with it. So that's what I like about it. Next on our list is Detroit Become Human, capping off at number 4.
Having released on May 25th, Detroit is one of the oldest games on this list. Detroit Become Human is a futuristic game set in 2038, in a world where androids have become commonplace in everyday life. However, androids have started to develop free will and become deviants.
The game follows 3 different protagonists: Connor, who's an investigator android, Marcus, who's a household android owned by an artist, and Kara, who's a household android who breaks her programming and saves a little girl.
Tying with the 3 different characters, they have their own separate storylines and they intertwine, and every decision you make matters. And if you make a certain decision, you can choose different pathways and you can see how the game will develop.
So with all that being said, how would you rate the game having played it?
I would give it an 8.5 out of 10. It does have a very, very good story. The characters are very deep. They're ones that you can connect with. But at the same time, it starts out extremely slow. And I kind of feel like the game is, once you play through it once, it feels extremely short. It's long the first time you play through it. You're trying to get into everything. You're trying to feel for the background and all of that. But once you play through it once, it kind of loses that touch, you know? It feels extremely quick. It's time to move on to the next game on our list. Sitting at number 3 is God of War.
God of War is an action-adventure game that was released on the 20th of April. The story follows Kratos as a continuation from the previous games. In this game, Kratos and his son Atreus embark on a journey where they are sent by their mother to fulfill her dying wish to spread her ashes on the highest peak in all the 9 realms of Norse mythology. With that being said, I rate the game an 8.5 out of 10. The visual representation of the characters in Norse mythology is really interesting and makes for a really, really good story. But the release date being so early on in the year makes it really, really hard for the developers to... It's very easy to see how long it took for them to complete the game with a lot of... Again, the same thing could be said about any other game that gets released too early.
So you're saying like that it might not be brought into the conversation of Game of the Year?
Yeah.
But I think it's up there, but it's like it might be a little forgotten because it came out so early.
Yeah, it definitely could have improved if it was released a little bit later.
Our runner-up for Game of the Year award is Fallout 76.
The latest installment in the Fallout franchise was announced at E3 earlier this year. The game serves as a narrative prequel set 25 years after the bombs fell, earlier than any other edition of Fallout to date.
The game brings back a bunch of different weapons and armor. It's similar to like Fallout 3 and from Fallout New Vegas.
It also kind of introduces a more advanced kind of system with food consumption and weapon durability.
Christopher, Cody, having played the game, how would you rate it?
I would give the game an 8.75 out of 10. I feel like the online stuff, it's actually something we talked about last year, you and I did, Tim. We wanted a online Fallout game, but we weren't exactly looking for an immerse Fallout story like with 4.
Yeah, just
we were just kind of looking for like an online Fallout game, and that is exactly what this is. It delivers on that front, but at the same time, the game does feel kind of shallow. There isn't much of a story, and a lot of people are not very pleased with it right now, and I understand that, but a lot of people do not see it as an online Fallout game. A lot of people see it as Fallout 5, which is not at all how you should view this game. I feel like the online capabilities are a really nice touch. It's really cool to play with friends and explore the Fallout universe and the Fallout world, but at the same time, I feel like some of the mechanics behind that, some of the mechanics in the game, while they may be fun and challenging, some of it's just a bit unnecessary.
I have a question about that. Do you think the next Fallout game will still continue to have online and a great story? Do you think that'll like?
I think it more depends on the success.
Or do you think they'll go back to just straight story, no online?
I don't know. It more depends on the success that comes with 76, honestly.
And that goes along with my rating. I gave it a 7 out of 10, mostly because a lot of the mechanics and overall performance of the game has been kind of lackluster in comparison to other games, especially games that have come out this year. And although it does suffer a great deal, even with all the backlash from the community, I still think that it's a pretty good game that is definitely worth your money, but definitely not worth a full $60 price tag. All right, ladies and gentlemen, this brings us to our final game. The winner of the Game of the Year award goes to Red Dead Redemption 2.
The first game came out in May 2010. This one serves as a prequel with main characters John Marston is involved in the gang. Arthur Morgan is the main protagonist in the Dutch Van Halen gang. And the original game, or this game, came out on October 26, 2018.
After a failed job in Blackwater, Dutch van der Linde and his gang evade the Pinkertons of local law enforcement, and they have internal troubles, and they face other gangs, the O'Driscolls and many others.
So, since all of us played the game, we should take a minute, come up with our own personal ratings, but also come up with a group rating for our Game of the Year.
I'd give it a 9 out of 10. I really like the story, but I feel like it's, you know how it says 62-hour gameplay? It's just, it's a good story, don't get me wrong, but the most of the hours is spending your time going to the missions on your horse, and it just takes forever, and that's the one thing I dislike about the game.
I'd give it a 10 out of 10. Honestly, the first game was completely changing for me, and I feel like it definitely has a lot of improvement from the last. It definitely benefited from the delayed release from fall 2017.
I would give the game a 9 out of 10. I feel like the game is good, the story's interesting, the characters are really interesting. The voice acting, especially for Arthur, is fantastic. My biggest concerns and problems with the game stem from the honor system. Honor is way too easy. It's easy to understand, but the problems with it are that it's too easy to lose and it's really, really hard to gain honor. And then the core system is just extremely confusing all throughout. And I still find myself trying to figure it out still.
I would give it an 8 out of 10. It's a good game overall, but the core system is stupid. I mean, you can die from not eating enough, or you can just die because you ran too far, or your horse will die just because you didn't brush it or something. Stupid.
So with that, our group rating is a 9 out of 10 for Red Dead 2.
Where's my money?